Deadlines for crypto are getting closer and closer. And I mean, the most important deadline that everybody is watching for right now is the Ethereum ETFs. We've got, what, 4 or 5 days or so left until that decision is going to be made. And it will definitely impact every single crypto holder and their mamas. And right now, the expectation is that these will be denied because the SEC wants to be a little pansy and they want to make sure that everybody knows that Ethereum and a lot of other cryptos for that matter are actually securities. Doesn't really make sense. If you look at previous SEC statements, that's bullocks, and I've shown you that many times. But hey, that's basically what the SEC wants to do. That's what they want to do. Now, one thing that became quite clear, though, is when looking at all these analysts, one thing they've said is it's not really a matter of, is it eventually going to be approved? No, not at all. The only question that all these guys are having right now is when is going to be approved. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has to sit in your mind and let it marinate for a little second. Let it marinate really properly in. Bitcoin had one of the most crazy run-ups when the Bitcoin ETFs were basically nearly confirmed. And the SEC went back and forward, meeting with all these issuers, and Bitcoin just kept running it up. We saw seeding of the ETFs, and right now is a really blossomy period now that they're here. I would like to argue that the moment we get closer to another ETF Ethereum deadline, that there's a very good chance we're going to see a massive run-up in Ethereum, but most likely, and I'm putting this out there right now, I see a future where Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and a couple of other ETFs are being put up at the exact same time. Matter of fact, I'm quite certain that guys like Ripple, or let's just generalize by saying XRP and some other altcoins, have already been working on their ETFs, but they've just not said anything because it's not for this decision. Again, logically, right, you do not want to put up basically a proposal when another proposal is about to get denied. I think everybody in the industry knows Ethereum ETFs probably not going to make it because otherwise there would have been 1,000 different SEC meetings with all these different issuers to discuss details like with Bitcoin. So that's the general consensus, right? And so would it make sense for you to place an ETF request while you're almost certain it's going to be, or at least one of them is going to be, well, a lot of them are going to be denied this week or in a few weeks? No. And so, in my opinion, there's a very good chance that the majority of these issuers are waiting for this Ethereum ETF to be denied before ramping it up with all their efforts. Because I personally think right now we are at the brink of a massive choice. And I don't think it's our choice. It's mostly reliant on the SEC. Either the SEC fully goes against Ethereum. You should get out. It's dangerous. It's an option that they go that route of the full-fledged ban, or at least attempts. Just like how the SEC tried to put a couple of tiny sneaky rules in some of their recent proposals for how you can hold crypto, etc. They might go against Ethereum just like that. But there's a second world where all these issuers and everybody for different crypto issuers are waiting for this one to be denied to go really hard on the next filing because they know the SEC can't wait out any longer. They can stall a bit again, but they cannot deny it. Depending on how long that takes, though, it could be that that's what people are waiting for the general, full-fledged altcoin season, for this Ethereum ETF to be out of the way, for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, the price relative to Bitcoin, to have one last tank before just popping off. It's in the back of my head. It's in the back of my head. And again, I can't say that it will happen in the way we're talking about it right now, but I can tell you that so much money is waiting on the sidelines, ready to be entered into this space. We all know how Chainlink right now is working with a lot. I'll show you. They're working with all of these major banks. Take a look. Chainlink completes test with JP Morgan, Franklin Templeton, BNY Mellon, and other major US banks to accelerate the tokenization of funds. Can you believe what I just read to you? If somebody told me this a few years back, I would have smacked them in the face for putting this crazy thoughts up. And right now, it is a reality. All these will want to tokenize things onto crypto soon enough. And I'm just trying to put into people's heads, the Ethereum ETF as it stands right now, we've got a few days left. It's a beginning point. It's that starter. The ignition is, but it's not fully making the car turn on, right? It's just, you're trying, and it's not working. You keep trying a few times, but ultimately everybody knows what part of the cycle we're in, and we're on the brink of things just going crazy, I believe. One thing, and I just want to quickly put this up though, and I'll talk about it more in the next video, that could also change everything though, and I'm being pretty realistic with this, is if Trump gets elected and he, in the couple of weeks before that, starts hyping up some crypto stuff. He's been known for his NFT sales and his recent outbursts, I guess, on crypto in a positive sense. I'm keeping my eyes on that as well for just general policy shifts. Or what could have a pretty big effect is, again, what I'll talk about very, very soon here on the channel. Everybody talking about abolishing the Federal Reserve. Right now, pretty recently, right, the U.S. Rep. Mull's bill to abolish abolish the U.S. Federal Reserve, because a little bit ago there was indeed a bill put up to abolish it, get rid of it. We talked about it ever so slightly, and I just think it's kind of funny that crypto is making these heavy decisions, these heavy outbursts of speech, these heavy thoughts, more and more of a reality. The fact that because of crypto, things like this, getting rid of the Federal Reserve, are more possible than ever before. And it's really funny that at the press time, 88% of social media users vote to abolish the Federal Reserve. Isn't that crazy? That about 90% of the people who are at least looking at this poll said, yep, needs to get rid of it. 2% stood with the Federal Reserve, and roughly 10% just wanted to see the results. Out of 1.4 million people seeing this and 115,000 people voting, 86%, but in theory, we could say this is over 90% because just 2.8 out of 100 said no. Anyway, you guys, I think, are reading what I'm reading right here. The things, from a broader perspective, they're changing, and they're changing rather quickly. But I don't want to keep you guys going for too long here. I just wanted to say we're on the brink of something massive with the Ethereum ETFs coming up here. Well, I think they're going to be denied, though. I think Ethereum is going to kind of tank a little bit versus Bitcoin for just a little bit, hit a little bottom, and then spark from there, igniting a full-on altcoin season. And then as we roll in, a lot of new ETFs are going to be issued. And the only question we've got is, what is the SEC's next move? Are they going to go after Ethereum? Are they going to go after more coins, or are they going to be passive for a little bit? I don't think the SEC is going to be passive, but I still also wait for the day that people expose these SEC secrets. We've been trying for a long time, but to no result yet. When investigation, huh? When do things change? It seems like they never do. But that was about it. If you guys are interested in an exchange, a crypto exchange to trade on, the one I personally use is Bybit. I've left a link down below. It's not available in some countries though, so you cannot get your $30,000 deposit bonus or your trading fees discounted. You might want to check out 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃. It's a place a lot of people use as well for trading crypto if, you know, Bybit doesn't work for you or OKX doesn't work for you. You might need a VPN, but there's a link for that down below as well. It's just a couple dollars a month for your internet safety. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video, hopefully somewhere later today.